This is the Open University.
Back to the Open University. Today we're going to be a little bit nostalgic and look back to the noughts, if you can remember that far back, if you were born in the noughts of the 21st century. And we're also thinking about dead media and dead platforms, because I was putting my photographs back in the mid-noughts onto Flickr, a service whose name I even forgot recently when I was trying to go back and look at these photographs, the pre-Tumblr photographs. I thought, what was the name of that service? Just like what you think if you were on Friendster, as I was before Facebook even came along, you kind of forget the name of Friendster, or you forget that everybody was on MySpace or whatever it was 20 years ago. I had their own music playing on their pages and this kind of thing. So I find it fascinating to go back and see how the world has changed in 20 years. This is a series of photographs that really go from, I think, about 2006 to 2010. Various digital cameras, some of them better than others. Let us look and let us see how things have changed. So here's the main protagonist. It's a man in Berlin wearing a t-shirt. I've forgotten the origins of that t-shirt. And his girlfriend is Hisai, who's an ex-St. Martin's art student, aged 27 or so. And this is their life in Berlin. So a lot of photographs of the kind of trendy life of Berlin. That's actually out at Dahlem, the museum, the ethnographic museum, which now has moved back into the center. And some exhibitions. Of course, our life is very much oriented to Asia, even when we're in Berlin. So we go to a lot of Asian-style places. And there's still very much the cult of Japan, which is interesting in Berlin, because now it would be probably more Korean presence at the art school, for instance, art students. My friend group really at this time, 2007, was art students in a course called Art in Context at the UDK, which was the University of der Kunst, or the art school in Berlin. And there were often either Japanese or people who were dating Japanese people. So here you see a picnic, Sunshine Wong, Naoko Ogawa, Yoshito. And these are Japanese exiles, basically, who are studying art in Berlin. And I guess through Hisai and also through my kind of having a lot of connections with Japan, they became my friends. This is my sister's wedding, I think, in Edinburgh. And various of her children from her first marriage coming along to her second. She's now in her third, to Irvin Welsh. This is now suddenly Japan, so I guess we must have flown from Edinburgh to Japan. And we're in Tokyo. That's the Omotesando and Meijidori crossing. That's Shizu, who had been my girlfriend back in 1999. That's Florian Perret, who was doing animation in Kamakura at the time. And that's Kamakura, as you see. And I guess this was our pretty much annual visit to Japan. A lot of Sento bathing. I think I was writing at the time for Hotwired, and I wrote an article about how you go to Japan to bathe in hot water. This is the Moriyama House, which is celebrated in film. If you can find the Moriyama-san film, it's excellent, about the man who had this house built for him. You see Marilyn Monroe and various scenes. I think that's a Pecha night, or it looks like Super Deluxe anyway. That was that was actually the shop run by Daisuke Ishiba, the artist. A lot of these things, very fascinating document of the time. This is various Matsuris, so you can see it's the summer, sort of Obon season, very hot. People going back to their hometowns, people celebrating their ancestors in Japan. One of the micro-seasons. A very young Abe, who later, of course, was assassinated by a nutcase. These photographs, they're not very well composed. I mean, it does strike me that I became a better photographer since then, or perhaps I use my photographs for a different purpose now. Perhaps it's just the technical specs have got so much better on iPhones. This was not actually taken with an iPhone. This was taken, I think, with a little Fujifilm camera, digital Fujifilm. This is now Osaka, so we're visiting Hisai's family and looking around exhibitions in Osaka. And yeah, the same kinds of, this is now Kyoto, same kinds of things I still take pictures of. That's actually Anthony, who records as Hypo. Some of these buildings I was staying in last year, or going to last year because we were in Kyoto for a month. That is a friend of Hisai's. Here we are going back already to, I guess, to Berlin. We're now back in Berlin, and that was Alan Humer. This is Joe Howe. I guess this was the first time I ever saw Gay Against You live. That's at the Battalion Centre. Yeah, I went on to collaborate the following year, 2008, with Joe, who moved to Berlin with his girlfriend Emma Balkind. And they were also connected to the art school. So these are, yeah, cell phones. I mean, the smartphone had not yet been invented. This is kind of amazing. We were 2 years at Kumisolo show, 2 years away from the invention of the iPhone, or 1 year away, actually, which I celebrated in my column in Hot Wired by saying it made me cry with joy. This is the Beaux-Arts, actually, in Paris, and their degree show, which they no longer do a summer degree show. I was looking recently for the Beaux-Arts degree show and finding that it's not a thing anymore. A lot of these scenes are now, that's the Point Éphémère. These are places that I go to or even pass. I don't even go inside the Point Éphémère anymore. That's Ipo's cousin, who is a musician as well. This is Gilles and Flo, when they lived near Bastille. And now I'm back in Berlin. I've got some robes, Muslim robes. And this is the Rande Maybach-Hofer. This is me showing various T-shirts, none of which I still have, because I sort of abandoned T-shirts as a mode of clothing shortly after this. Some of these are actually Animal Affairs T-shirts from Tokyo in the 90s. And very retro 70s, a lot of them. There's a Kimi Kari original T-shirt. Japanese artists exhibiting, drinking white beer. I no longer drink beer. I sort of miss white beer slightly, but I prefer not to booze these days. And yeah, just the sense of Berlin in summer. It's full of funky, especially that period of Berlin. This is the UDK Rundgang, the art school, open doors in the summer. My rabbit always flopping around my feet there, this black rabbit. We're off in the forest, so this was like an outdoor festival where everyone was naked in the lake, getting bitten by mosquitoes, no doubt. I always think I don't look very good in these old photographs. I think I look better now, but who can say? I guess it's just different times. That's Mario. That's E-Rock, who's visiting from, I guess, Seattle? Is it Seattle? This is down by the canal. This is the rabbit. This is Ishmaru doing a concert at Madame Claude's. And see, some of these things I do remember pretty well. Others, not so well. There'll be some people I think, who the hell was that? Media Spray. Yeah, there were a lot of protests against the ongoing yuppification of the Spray media zone, which were futile ultimately because it was yuppified basically. These are model animals, a lot of quirky, playful stuff here. Shots of my flat, exhibitions. It does look like a very creative scene, with these horrible black leather sofas that I inherited from the previous tenant. I never really built up any furniture in my life. I have a lot of books and records, electronics, mostly redundant and broken electronics actually, but I don't have sofas that I keep with me. I usually give them away. Now we're in Athens, and this is the Remap 2 event in Keramikos. And that's my old house where I lived in the 60s, the late 60s in Athens with my family. Tortoises. My old neighborhood, Psychiko, Paleo Psychiko, which has become very guarded now with a lot of high fences and embassies there. It wasn't really like that before. But these were sites which I was revisiting. I was in there in Greece to play a concert in Athens, invited by some art students from London. That's my friend Babis's dad, who's no longer with us. At Babis, people trying on these glasses, which I was buying at the time. The children in these pictures are now adults, which is kind of interesting to think about. Here we are on top of the Acropolis, and now we're back in Berlin. That's Holger Hiller, and it still has that feeling of 90s Berlin about it. It's just 10 years on from the first Berlin that I first visited Berlin in 1987 on tour with Primal Scream, took a week off at the end of the tour and looked around Berlin, then saw East Berlin when it was still a communist country, which was kind of amazing. So then the next time I got familiar with Berlin was when I was signed to Bungalow Records in the late 90s, working with Valley France and other people, putting out my own records through Bungalow. Now we're in, actually this is in Boston. I had to do a talk at the Boston ICA, and visiting New York. I'd had an exhibition in New York in 2005. I had another one in 2009. I was in the Whitney Biennial in 2006. That's the editor of Vice. That's Lord Whimsy. That's Hikaru Furuhashi and Joe's Pub. These were familiar scenes because I'd been living in New York earlier in the decade. And Ishmaru again. I guess I played in New York with Ishmaru. That's Brian de Groot, artist. Gilles and Flo, I guess, were visiting. Oh no, I'm back in Paris now, and that's their wedding. No, it's not their wedding. We're shooting photographs for some friends who are visiting from the States. Now I'm in Brussels with Hisai, and that's Aki Onda, the cassette noise musician, who I met first in New York, I guess, in about 2002. And Paris with Aki again. This is Brussels, actually. Yeah, this is the market in Brussels. And I guess I was playing possibly at a place called Cassette, was it? The venue, I think it was on the canal, near where the Manager Hotel now is. Art Laboratory Berlin, so I'm back in Berlin. Seems like a constant round of art openings and parties and events. And post-occupancy. This magazine actually gave me the idea to do a sort of Petra Kutscher talk in Stockholm called Post-Occupancy Women, which actually proved rather controversial. With some of the audience, I had long discussions afterwards about whether it was the right thing to say. There is still this retro 70s look of 90s Berlin, so which is kind of interesting because now, here we're in Venice actually, now I'm still kind of doing a lot of 70s references in the furniture and clothes I wear. But it's slightly different from the retro 70s you would be getting in the 90s or in the teens. So here we are at the Venice Biennale. I'm about to go again this year, 2026, to the Venice Biennale again. It's a kind of annual thing, biannual thing, obviously, for me, to reset my cultural watch to. And COVID was a huge interruption, obviously, to these cycles, but I have settled back into them, I guess. Although I'm now 20 years older, so it's kind of fascinating. I was in my 40s in this period that we're looking at now, and I guess pretty well socially settled into Berlin. We had a big circle of friends. I felt comfortable in Berlin at that time. It was a place where you could be creative and you could be an artist, you could be based while you traveled the world, and you could have friends who were students. In your 40s, you can have friends who are students, and it doesn't seem strange. That's Bretzel from Stereo Total. You can have friends who are like students, and it doesn't seem weird. Often they're mature students as well. This is Jan's flat. Jan, who I'm still friends with, we'll probably see later in the year as well. And the Rabbit. Bau kein Scheiß, don't build any shit, an architect's slogan. So you don't really feel cut off from student life in the way that, say, I would now. It would feel a bit strange, unless I had a job in a university or something. It would seem strange. All these trendy magazines and things, I don't know, there's a certain understanding of what's cool or what's interesting artistically which you have to keep updating. And I wonder if I now recognize more the picture you would get from this period of what was artistic, what was fashionable, or nice combinations of colors, clothing, whatever, than I do now. I certainly was more active culturally. I was getting more invitations to make books, to have art exhibitions, to write for magazines, to give lectures. So I did feel very much in my time then. This is Sweden, actually. I'm in Sweden doing, I think, the Boris residency. No, wait, now that's Copenhagen now. I'm a bit confused. What am I doing in Copenhagen? So there'll be all these opportunities to sort of participate, which I no longer get because possibly I'm seen as past it, or possibly I'm just more lazy personally and feel semi-retired and just want to concentrate on music these days. I think it was good though to be so implicated in everything. And this is Design May. So I guess we're still in May 2007 when they transformed some of Mitte into a lot of design exhibitions. People wearing kimonos at a kimono party. A lot of this hoodie stuff, I would never wear a hoodie now like that. I'm much less sportswear. That was Kyoka and Midori Hirano, two electronic musician, Japanese friends. Some oysters, Kyoka again, hot chip, us pretending to be hot chip. So yeah, it's funny to think you adjust to a time and then you sort of fall out of sync with the times, deliberately in many cases because you kind of hate them. You move to a place in order to be in sync with the feeling of the place, and that's very much why I was in Berlin. Now I don't feel this in Berlin. If I go to Berlin, I really left Berlin essentially last year. The atmosphere has changed. There's a conservative mayor. There's a lot more money in Berlin than there used to be. It's not so shabby chic as it used to be. It's not so affordable for artists who are not necessarily making money. And this is Prague now. Here we're in Prague. An exhibition in the castle up at Prague of photographs. Getting to know Prague well. And a lot of the friends I knew in Berlin left Berlin to go and live in Prague, which became, in a sense, the new... this is an exhibition I actually had in Prague with the curator I often worked with. There's a whole bunch of friends who moved to Prague and could live much cheaper. Kari and Mika, for instance. Mika ended up working, running the film department in the art school in Prague. But they were raving about how you could live. It was like the old Berlin where you could live for nothing, almost free. Everything was very cheap. Berlin no longer seemed like that, even in about 2007, 2008. It was a place you would be leaving to go to an even funkier, more interesting and creative town. That's one of the friends who moved there. And so I could certainly see that on visits to Prague. I could certainly feel what that was about. This is Ingo Nierman, and I think that was the meeting we had at the Helmholtzplatz, a place called Wohnzimmer, which is still there. Where he initially proposed writing for the Solution series, which was being published by Sternberg. This is Rudiger Schlomer, who was doing this knitting class regularly that Hisai would go to, where she would, they would knit football scarves, or, she started doing cable covers and selling them through our website. Kunstwerk opening. It seems Berlin doesn't really quite feel like this anymore. It feels a bit more like a constant opening party for interesting artworks and student-y kind of stuff going on. Of course it is still. I guess if you're young in Berlin, it still has this feeling. But when I look at vlogs, I watch young vloggers now from Berlin, and I don't quite get the same sense of possibility. That was Tomoko Sauvage, who's an installations musician who I collaborated with in Vienna. Possibly it was this year we did a kind of improvisation in Vienna. And this is actually he was a David Bowie impersonator who lives in Athens. This is the couple of artists who do cassette art, mail art, and who also worked as mute publicists, Ian and Jane, Ian Forsyth and Jane Pollard. Now I'm in Athens, looks like. I think I'm in Athens. Wait. Possibly the trees just... Oh no, wait, where am I? Where are we? Where in the world is Waldo? This is back in Berlin. Yeah, this is the farm in the Görlitzer Park. And that's... it's quite an interesting picture of the artist David Hamilton. Not David Hamilton. Ian Hamilton. Ian Hamilton? No, mixing it up. Richard Hamilton, who taught Brian Ferry, of course, at art school. Here I am. This is the Berlin Biennial, I think, the very first. No, possibly the second or third Berlin Biennial. I think that was big one-page feature. You wouldn't get that in a German paper now. I am an eccentric, is the headline. Yeah, this is Tomiko and her daughter and her husband. I feel like I would not get asked to do a lot of the things now which I was asked to do then. So I was very much, because I was a blogger, I was quite a famous blogger at the time, I was very much in demand for various freelance jobs. Was that from the poster? That was this huge poster they were using in Vienna for the Art Week in Vienna that performed with Tomiko Sobajat. This is... that's that... oh my God. No, now I'm in the Orkney in Shetland. So, with my mother, a trip we made to the far-flung northern islands of Scotland. She's still around, but she's not so mobile these days, so it's tough for her to do this kind of trip. In fact, she did it a few years later with my brother and broke her hip during the holiday and had to be flown by helicopter back to Edinburgh to hospital. So increasingly difficult and challenging for my mother to see these places, which are sort of ancestral islands, because we did have some predecessors who lived in Shetland. Various Shetland writers, and that's my old halls of residence in Aberdeen. I stayed, I think, in the Aberdeen halls of residence just for fun, really, and relived my university years. Kyoka again, so I guess I'm back in Berlin, and bicycles are forbidden. So yeah, this is these beautiful old antique bicycles. Various, that's Antonin Gautier, Kyoka, non-places. Yeah, this is the unreliable tour guide I did as a Pyongyang guide. I pretended London was Pyongyang, so here we are in London. I've been invited by the South Bank Centre to do this unreliable guide dressed up as a Korean, a North Korean, saying that the sites of London were actually North Korean sites and they were glorifying Kim Jong-il at the time. Various London... See, even London looks kind of funky and cheap in these pictures. This is my unreliable tour guide uniform, essentially the apron. Now I'm in Spain somewhere and doing a festival, possibly in Barcelona. This is the Railway Museum. And Spain is always a trip, literally. Back in Berlin, that was Michael Portnoy, the artist, and some edamame Jan Lindenberg, who is now a gardener in Gerswalde. He's a full-time gardener now. This is the art school, so flow as metaphor. This is, it's another, it looks like another Rundgang at the art school, another open doors event, or perhaps just visiting friends there, I don't know. The pictures still have this low-res quality with a lot of neons and pinks and oranges and things. Now I'm in Newcastle and I'm staying with my late friend Sheena Revolta, who put me on in Sheffield and also commissioned me to do Basic FM broadcasts a bit later. So I guess actually a few years later he commissioned me before succumbing to cancer, rather tragically. in about 2017. My friend Neil Martin, so now Edinburgh, my dad's still alive, my parents, my cousin Justin, a rare photograph of Justin, and now Berlin again, and that was Dat Politics, the band, and this is Joe Howe. So I guess Joe and Emma have now moved, and here's Rudiger's Knitting Circle, there's Emma Balkind. Joe and Emma now living in Berlin, Kilcar. This was our circle, really. We'd gather in our flat and watch videos which I'd curate and project, and it was all very fun and very funky. This is now Innsbruck, or a picture of Innsbruck anyway. I think we went to Manifesta. I rented a car which got pranged. A truck went down the wrong exit from the freeway and then reversed into me, and I couldn't find reverse gear fast enough. Ended up paying €800 for the front of this little car we'd used. But Manifesta, which at that time was in the hinterland between Austria and Italy, it was sort of North Italy, the industrial valleys where it almost shades into Austria. That was really good that year. I enjoyed that. Now we're back in Berlin. This is a lot of Naoko Okawa, the jeweler. And I think this was I think Rudiger had some stuff in that exhibition. That's my curator again, whose name will come back to me. Michael Portnoy. This looks like Frieze Art Fair in London. The British breakfasts. Yeah, Frieze Art Fair, which I blagged my way into as someone who was contributing to Frieze at the time. And the picnic we had at the very last flight arrivals at Tempelhof Airport. We actually saw the last flights into Tempelhof and ate sausages and things with some art students on the runway, under the runway, before it became a park. Macs were black then, it's amazing. That was Alexandra and Aaron, who were I was very big fans of at the time. They did sort of ambient music and lived in Barcelona. Then they moved to Oslo. I think they may be back in Spain now. My uniform as the unreliable tour guide, I think I might have done one in a conference at the Volksbühne. Oh, now I'm in Vienna. Okay, this is Tex Rabinowitz in Vienna. And now I'll go again. Yeah, I wonder where are these? This is the Ethnographic Museum out at Dahlendorf with David Woodard, who is an American provocateur who I befriended at the time. And this, I think, is ProQM. So various events, Marx and Engels in my kitchen on posters in Berlin. My rabbit, various scenes around Kreuzberg. That's Mike Mills, who I interviewed for a magazine. And Berlin does look like a sort of a chantier, like a big sort of construction site. It looks like exciting things are being constructed. It's not yet finished, and people say that about Berlin, that it's unfinished in a good way, forever. But I don't know, maybe it's slightly finished now. It feels a bit finished in the positive sense that it's completed, but also that there's less sense of raw potentiality, I think, now in Berlin. It's less of this funky kind of funny, cute. This is this is Motto, I think, an opening at Motto. Of course, I already had archaeological layers of memories because the Motto, the shop in Berlin, was actually, that was Kirsty Gullaus. And I guess I'm in Oslo now talking to students of the art school at the invitation of Alexandra and Aaron. Aaron particularly, Aaron Bergman. And the archaeological layers, for instance, that Bungalow Records was in the same building on a different floor, just 2 floors above Motto Bookshop, which became an important site later. But so the places I would be going in the 90s might be in the same building as the places I'd be going in the teens, but everything would have changed. Bungalow had gone, Motto had moved in on the basement floor, ground floor. And it was the same place, but everything was different. So you really get a sense of each decade bringing its own people, its own shops, its own galleries, its own events to the same geographical location. And having a pet. Gosh, I haven't had a pet since the rabbit, really. The rabbit died. We took the rabbit to Osaka in 2010 when I moved to Osaka. That's the bookend, really, of this period, is that I got bored with Berlin around about 2010. We had visa problems for Hisai, so she moved back to Osaka. I moved back to Osaka to be with her and spent another 6-7 years together living in Osaka. But I was much more isolated. I didn't really build up the social circle that I had in Berlin, and felt I was kind of a bit purposeless, although I got a lot of work done, did a lot of albums, wrote a lot of books. Here I am in New York now. I guess this is my exhibition in 2009 already. Love is the End of Art. Momus with Aki Sessamoto. Aki Sessamoto, who was just on the cover of Freeze this year. She's done very well. Misha Shoni, friend, New York Times, Shazna. So New York, I had this kind of ecosystem already built. She's dead now, that blonde lady she had her own radio show. I forget, her name will come back to me. So I had these friends ready-made from, I guess, 2001, 2002 when I lived, or from 2000 to 2002, off and on. I was living in New York, so that's the singer from Vampire Weekend. So I guess, I had this ready-made social group, many of whom were still there. That's my Weda, who of course I had worked with in 2005, doing an art show, still good friends with stayed with her last year in her country house in Shikoku. And so it was kind of like old slippers. It was quite comfortable to go back into New York. Now I think it wouldn't feel like that, because pretty much everybody I knew then is no longer in New York, or New York City. That was Lord Whimsy, who's kind of disappeared from social platforms, lives in the countryside, still writes books though, I think, and is doing his graphic design with his wife. The Guggenheim Museum, of course. Some of these people I'm like, who are those? That was Paul Noble, the artist, who's together with Jordina Starr, Susie Corrigan, a friend from London, Emma Balkand again. Now I guess we're back in Berlin. So I've finished my exhibition. I guess we're in 2009 now. And that's my nightshirt I used to wear. I didn't wear pajamas. I wore a sort of shift. That was Aidan from Arab Strap. Interesting. Because I interviewed him in the 90s for television once. I thought that was the only time I'd met him, but apparently he wasn't. Apparently he was in Berlin, and we met up then. Great admirer. Like his new stuff is amazing as well. His new single is very good. Arab Strap got back together. Now I'm in Athens again with my friend whose name I've forgotten. Babis, one of my old university friends, one of my oldest friends actually, lives in Athens now. Was living in England, but was basically chased out by Brexit. Had a house in Athens to move back to. I guess that's the Remap project, which was a very early part of the Athens biennial. And that was Pablo de la Barra, the curator. Now we're on the island of Vihina and renting a motorbike, riding off to find the house that Adolf Loos celebrated as one of the early modernist houses. Accidentally modernist, because it's simply a whitewashed structure. Back in Berlin, Summer Rain, that's Mumble Boy actually, Kyoka, various, looks like art school degree shows. That's my nephew Robbie, who visited Berlin at the time. And I think this is the one of the degree shows of the other art college in Berlin, not the UDK. Emma Balkand. I used to make everybody wear the glasses that I had bought in Athens which at the time seemed revolutionarily square, like so square they were funky. This is a window display for the Book of Scotland's, which I guess had just been published by Sternberg. And I was doing events at places like ProQM bookshops for promoting the Book of Scotland's. I, after that, did the Book of Japan's, which I think came out in 2011. Adam Green, yeah, gosh. Sachiko, who's from Osaka, runs a restaurant now in Osaka in the southern suburbs. And, gosh, who was that? That's Michael Portnoy again. I think I did a show with Michael performing on stage with me. Now we are... Zach Kai is showing the cover which he designed of the Book of Scotland's. Various book fairs and things. Jan and his girlfriend Janghwa, his Korean girlfriend, they're still together. And this now is, we're in, I think, Utrecht. Is it Utrecht? It looks like Holland somewhere. Yet more one-page culture features on Momus, which I don't tend to see much of these days. And where is this? Oh, this is Spain. This is Toledo. So I'm now exploring Spain. I think I need to cut this into two because this is going to go on forever. No, it's not. Actually, 36 minutes out of 42. Maybe we can make it. Yeah, I think we can do another 8 minutes of narrative. This is Livre des Blagues, so I've written the book of jokes, and it's coming out in French initially and then in English later. Japanese Soen magazine, which I like to this day. Kumi Solo. This is Paris, a trip to Paris, I guess. The Passage Paradis. So that's Cage-san, who was Gilles Bird, Tug's bird. And Angela Merkel, who was, of course, the Chancellor in Germany at the time. Back in Berlin, I think this is the countryside, so I wonder if that's Gerswalde. There's a certain kind of retro-modernist chic going on. Events, that is ProQM when it was still in... Oh wait, now that's Paris actually. That's the Pompidou Center and the Paris Metro. Gilles and La Plantine. And a place in the 17th arrondissement, that's Kumi Solo. So I think this is when we played a show at Pelagique, which was a fashion designer run by some West Indian people, I think, in Belleville. And, okay, now Japan again. So, yeah, this is Gayanmai and Koenji and various people who are expats in Japan. Another comfortable pair of slippers because I already had some residence in Japan. Yeah, we were staying in Meguro in the flat of a photographer, Japanese photographer. Meguro was very comfortable because I'd lived there in 2002, 2001. And again, it was a city I could step back into and have social connections ready-made. That's the Muji trousers I had. Karen Kimoto, Karen in a hammock cafe in Tokyo. Yeah, that's Kotori, who's a famous photographer now, Kodoshima, I think it's Kotori Kodoshima. Published lots of books, now a very famous Japanese photographer, big exhibitions and things. That is Joji Koyama, who's also artist, Mumble Boy, and is it Mumble Boy or was it I think it was actually some graphic designers from the Philippines who look, that's Alan Humer in his place. He would always strip his flats down to white shells and then resell them and move on somewhere else. This is, oh yeah, and so now this is really settling into Osaka because it's the new year, Hisai's father. So I was really getting to know Osaka and thinking of it as a place where I might move to. This is already Shinsekai, where I did move to in 2010. That's Dododo, who's an artist. Oh, this is the trip in 2010 when I was sent by the University of Loughborough as a curator for an exhibition called After Gold, which they were doing to tie in with the London Olympics in 2012. So I was sent free, all expenses paid, to Japan to find artists, and that was a really fun trip, assisted by my friend Yoko Ariyama. So we went to the art islands, for the first time in the Seto Inland Sea with Yoko. Met a lot of artists in places like Onomichi. I think this is actually scenes in Onomichi. I saw Onomichi really transforming into a place transformed by artists. It became known as a funky town where artists were doing projects. So when I went back last year to Onomichi and walked down the arcade, some artists recognized me from this initial trip, I guess, and showed me their studios and things, because they had a sort of information center in the arcade there. It's a town which is in full transformation, I guess. Wow, what's that snowy landscape? Back in Berlin now, and that was taking Vampire Weekend en masse to my favorite smart telly. That was kind of amazing. Now back in Scotland, Edinburgh, probably for Christmas, and me with my dad, who's no longer with us. Scenes in Scotland before heading off back to Berlin, I guess. This is this is a degree show at the Weissensee Art School, the second art school of Berlin. Already by this time, Berlin is over familiar in a sense. This is us selling my stuff, so I'm getting ready to leave Berlin, and it's already a little bit, seen that, done that. And all the art students and people that I was friendly with and had built up this social circle with had kind of left. This is me showing Gilles and Flo around Berlin. Had kind of left and moved on. Like Jan here with the beard moved out to the village Gerswalde, and that was why I was able to move back to Berlin in the late teens. I thought I was moving back to Berlin. I was really moving back to Paris, and I just had a rent to pay on a flat in Berlin, which I never used. So this is the beginning of a new transformation where I moved to Japan. I moved to Osaka, not to Tokyo this time, but to Osaka. So this is kind of the end of my Berlin period, or that Berlin period anyway, which was the real Berlin period for me. Although I had experience before in Berlin in the 90s, I had experience after in the late teens and in the early 20s. Even during COVID, I was mostly in Berlin, but it didn't have the same feeling for me. It wasn't exciting in the same way. It wasn't socially connected in the same way. That's it.
Open University.
See you next time.